Oh,
Alright. Sarah? Marvellous. Right. On the dot. That's Maria. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Vincent Community Board meeting for Tuesday, the 17th of October. First up, I would just like to welcome Peter Kelly to your first Vincent Community Board meeting.
Very nice to be welcome.
And I have some apologies this morning from Tracy Patterson, who's obviously away living her best life. Thankfully, the All Blacks are still in the running, but she's gone all that way. No one here as yet?
No.
Okay. We'll just skip over the public forum. Oh, sorry. I'll just move the apology from Tracy be accepted and seconded Martin. Thank you. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried. Public forum, we were hoping to have someone here, but he has not arrived as yet, so we'll just make some space if he does something in a few minutes. Confirmation of the minutes on page number 5 from our last meeting. Those are the minutes from the meeting on the 5th of September. If somebody is happy to move that those are accurate, thank you, Di. Seconded, thank you, Roger. For those in favour?
Right.
Against? Carried. Just a reminder of your declarations on page 14. If there is anything that needs updating or changing, please let Sarah know. And then we move to item number 23.7.2, the draft Omako Reserve Management Plan with Maria. Welcome and good morning.
Just jump in here, Madam Chair. This is Maria's first paper to VCB and to Council. Maria joined us earlier this year and as our strategy and planning officer in the parks team. And this is one of her first major projects that she has been working on and has been delivering. So it's awesome to have you on the team, Maria, and welcome to the table.
Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to take the report and attachments as read, and I'll give you a quick overview. So just for a little bit of context, reserve management plans are required under the Reserves Act for some reserves. They guide consistent decision making around the future development and management of the reserve. So they usually contain a little bit of history, existing use of the reserve and future use. One thing I do want to make clear is that reserve management plans are not funding allocation documents. They're management documents only. And so if a reserve management plan allows for certain activities, for example, the upgrading of sporting facilities, that doesn't commit council to funding. So that's just an important piece to keep in mind as some of the submissions were relevant to requesting funding, but that's not what this does. So the need for the plan arose when the Omaka Community Hub project took off, and the reserve management plan, as it's currently written, allows for the Omaka Community Hub to go ahead if suitable funding is allocated. So the board approved the draft plan for submissions in June this year, and it went out for consultation for a 2-month period from June to August. 39 submissions received. The community were amazing and got really involved in this one. And so one little thing to note is that I have seen that the page numbering is not correct in the report, so that will be updated. For reserves, Omaka Reserve, the consultation has established that there is support from the community for the community hub to be constructed on the reserve. The rugby club rooms will be removed, camping ground kitchen relocated, and the playground relocated where the rugby club rooms are currently. But you'll hear more from Tara on that one shortly. There were 2 quite interesting suggestions that came through from the community. One was a walking track, and so that's around the piece of the Omaka Reserve that isn't used for anything other than grazing at the moment. So that's quite exciting, and the cricket field, a request for that to be shared seasonally with football. And so the plan has been updated to allow for that in the future. Wilson Street Reserve have asked the community what they want from the Otakatoa Library, and the plan has been updated to allow for the removal of the building. If that needs to happen, and that will be developed as a green space and picnic area. Third, over Rec Reserve, there were many suggestions about the tennis courts being upgraded. Just for a wee bit of context, they are very old, and it wouldn't be a matter of upgrading, it would be a matter of a whole new project. The plan as it's currently written does allow for the community to pursue a project like that in terms of upgrading themselves, but it doesn't commit the council to funding. And lastly, the Ophir Ice Rink Reserve, we heard about this when Tracy gave a little bit of an anecdote on that. Opposite the Blacks pub, this reserve was gifted to the community by the Stafford family. The plan has been updated to indicate that the council will investigate revoking the reserve status of the land and disposing of that piece of land. And the recommendations that the suggested amendments and changes to the plan are approved. So the plan that you are seeing in your agenda pack, that has been updated with all of these suggestions already. That's all from me.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Maria. Does anybody have any questions for Maria or Gordy? Maddie?
Maria, congratulations on an outstanding effort. It interests me when you made that comment about the relevance of the plan as far as financial matters are concerned. With a lot of submitters come in with ideas, do we give them sort of false expectations or false hopes that maybe this will happen?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think that that's something that we need to be careful with, and I will need to be conscious of, is making sure that that is really clear in the future. I guess I worked towards making sure that that wasn't the expectation, but I think now that I've had a little bit of experience in this, I would try and be a little bit more clear next time.
I think that's probably a role for us as elected members, and we're dealing with that community, is to temper, I think, some of those expectations, because they get involved in this process. They're all excited and think they, but then Gordon, you've delivered a walking track.
Not quite, but.
Not far.
So I think there's a line to the chair. So a plan is about allowing future things to happen. So we have to say you can build a walking track, for example, rather than somebody coming and saying they want a walking track, then we have to do the whole public consultation thing again, or a new hub or whatever it is. So we need to have future sort of future-proof plan for about a 10-year period. So we need to put some things there, but yes, the expectation that there's going to be funding aside, allocated to those things needs to be tempered. That's I guess that's balancing it, and we do that through the long-term plan and other mechanisms council has.
Did anyone else have questions? I just had two comments. One was just wanted to acknowledge the number of names on that submission list who were children in Maumaka. And I think that is awesome that they were involved, excited. They had some pretty cool ideas. They had some quite out there ideas, but I think it's really neat to see that obviously they've been supported to be part of that process. And I hope that we can continue that on as well. And the second thing, if the ice rink reserve at Ophir were to be disposed of and it was for a monetary value, would that money potentially be tagged to any upgrade or development at the Ophir reserve, or would it go into a pot for any reserves?
So that would be a board decision. Yes.
Okay.
So you would have some money and you can allocate that. It's that would be used on some reserve, but the board, so that would be a specific target fund that was required that the board would make that decision upon the disposal of that happens on that reserve.
Yes, I did note that some submitters were aware that it was unlikely that there would be sufficient natural ice to reopen an ice skating rink in the foreseeable future. Wonderful, thank you very much. The recommendations there that we received the report and accept the level of significance. Resolve that these submissions be received, recommend that the suggested amendments and changes to the plan is approved, and recommends to council the adoption of the amended Omako and OFA Reserve Management Plan 2023. Thank you, Martin, to move that, and David to second that. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried. Thank you very much. We now move to page 127. We're looking at the Omako Community Hub project with Tara and Garen. Welcome.
This is a information only report just to give the board an update on progress with the project. I'll take the report as read, but I'll just give a quick summary of what's happening. Since the feasibility study was completed in 2018, the board actually passed a resolution to agree in principle to the rough concept design, which was presented at the meeting in 2019, and to progress to develop design stage. The community group that was progressing the project has become a charitable trust. It's the Minikera Valley Charitable Trust. I apologise, there's an error in the report there. So their main purpose is to progress the project and basically establish the building. The trust have been working closely with council to progress the project, and they meet regularly with council staff to discuss it and receive advice and support on project scope and funding. And the trust have now provided to council a fully developed concept design for the new hub, and that is attached as an appendix 2. There's a number of letters of support that have been received for that concept design. And the site location is shown on page 131, which has been allowed for in the reserve management plan, which I believe has just been adopted. It's proposed that once construction of the hub is complete, there'll be a lease to the NVCT, to the trust. And we've had a couple of QS estimates for the project, and the total estimated cost is around 5.2 million, and this includes a $500,000 contingency. Confirmed funding is 1.7 million, which includes a $1 million contribution from the council, which was approved in the long-term plan, the last long-term plan. Bob Turnbull Trust have also confirmed a grant of 600,000. And the trusts themselves have raised a further around about $100,000, and they're now committed to raise the shortfall of around 1.6. The Central Lakes Trust, Lotteries, and the Otago Community Trust have also confirmed their support, and it might be around 1.1 million. There are also 3 separate projects which will sort of be in conjunction with this one, to do with the existing buildings, and they will sort of come to the board separately once the hub is completed. So in terms of the next steps, the trust will continue developing their plans. There's a fundraising thermometer that is to be installed at the hub very soon, and they'll continue with their fundraising strategy and initiatives, and there'll be another update will come to the board for approval for the developed design. And we've got Marie Leach here from the trust too, if there's any questions would like to ask.
So, thank you. Does anybody have any questions at this point? I know it's coming in a further report. Do you have an anticipated time frame for what will happen with the current building, the current hall?
It is coming in another report.
Estimated time frame?
I'll hopefully get that report to you the next meeting, and we can talk about the future of the program.
Yeah. Very good. Is it closed to the public?
There's one occupant, but we're having chats with her about holding the Pilates class elsewhere.
Right.
Because the building is starting to get into quite a derelict state.
Yes. Okay, perfect. Thank you. If there's no other questions, can I have someone move that we receive the report? Thank you, Di. Seconded, Tony. Thank you. All those in favour? Aye. Against?
Thank you.
Carried. Thank you very much. Right. Welcome, Faye. We are going to talk about the road name approval report, page 150 of Lex Gully Road.
Thank you. I'll take the report as being read, but just briefly, we've received a request for a road name approval in the new subdivision of Lex Gully Road. The name provided is Gladstone Lane, after the Gladstone family owned the land and farmed in the area. The name meets the criteria. The recommendation is that we approve the name.
Is there any, if you're giving a road name the same as another road name, that, to be fair, is in Harley and not here, is there a minimum amount of distance required or anything?
Well, it's not in our district, so it wouldn't be a problem to us. If we were concerned, we could ask Lynn's and see what they provide approval, because we certainly do have names within the district that are similar or the same, even though that is against criteria, so therefore we perhaps go and ask permission. But generally, that we'd say no if it was in the district. Standard process now.
Perfect, thank you. Does anybody have any questions or any particular strong feelings about Gladstone Way? I think Shedstone Way was quite fun, but Gladstone Way. Lane, yes, yeah. So the recommendation is that we receive the report and accept the level of significance and agrees to approve a road named Gladstone Lane. Thank you, Roger, and seconded Tony. All those in favour? Against? Carried. Oh, wonderful. Thanks, Dave. Right. Page 163, which is our meeting schedule for 2024. Wayne.
I'll take today's paper as read. Just to note a couple of things on the 2024 calendar. There's a few instances where the meeting will take place on a Monday, one because it's Waitangi Day on the Tuesday, and a couple to make way for the hearings panel. And also note just in December, it's down as Monday, but it should be Tuesday, so I shall change that for the December meeting. And the only other change to note was the March meeting should have been the following week, but we've kept that free because it's a 3-day week and I'm sure a lot of people will go away on holiday. So we've put them all the week before. That's it. Yeah.
Wayne, could you clarify for May the 20th?
Yeah.
What that actually says?
Oh, okay. So that's going to be the deliberations for the long-term plan. And we're planning to run them at the same time. So there'll be a cohort of staff here. And there'll be a cohort of staff at Frankfurt. And I'm not sure if the correct phrasing is divide and conquer, but we'll do it. We're going to plan to do it at the same time, the following day as well. Yeah.
I don't think divide and conquer.
Obviously, more conversations to come. If there are no board issues with the housing plan, of course, that will drop off. So that we will just hear those pertinent to you what. Also, once we know what this consultation on the 19th, yes, there are the time, so we will get the kind of stuff.
Thank you.
Wayne, when you tweak this, can you put some off?
Yeah.
Yes. I do.
And
I'd like one on the wall.
It's not a bad idea actually. Yeah, and I'll make sure it's in colour. And
Yeah, no, it's quite nice to stick up on your notice board.
Yep.
Because then you're looking at, that's me. I don't know about the rest of you, but I haven't fully digitised my brain yet.
You're getting there.
I'm still in an analog mode.
I would just remind members that if you peruse the list and falls on your birthday, there will be a notification to bring a cake.
And on Christmas Eve,
It's a different meeting, so it's gone forward today rather than back today to skirt Martini, because
Oh, it's gone, yeah, so we'll have it on the Monday instead of the Wednesday, we'll have to have it on the Monday. Yeah. Just like we would have, if it was gonna clash with the hearings panel, just move it up to a Monday.
just that it makes it 4 day weekend down to 2 day weekend on Monday.
Oh, that's quite a good point, if you want to move that to the Wednesday.
It would make sense to put it on the Wednesday, I think, because it does stymie the opportunity of having a 4 day weekend.
Oh, well, splendid, yes. Okay, I'll do that.
Does anyone's birthday fall on one of those days?
No.
I feel like I own a cake
You know,
this year.
we're one of the few countries in the world where on your birthday, you have to shout.
See a problem with it, man.
Almost the other way around.
Mr. Costly encouraged.
Just the point, it's making it point.
Wonderful. Can I have someone receive the report and accept the level of significance and adopt the proposed 2024 meeting schedule for the VCB with the amendment for Waitangi?
Yep.
Thank you, Jaden. Seconded. Thank you, Tony. All those in favour? Aye. Against? Carried. Very much. And Wayne, again, to talk us through the, Jaden's going to pop out, thank you. To talk us through considering giving permission for a member to attend the young elected members pool.
I'll take this report as read. So James expressed an interest to attend the young elected members hui, which is in Waitangi in December. And as part of the permission process, he needs to have permission of this board in order to attend. So that's basically the report, yes or no, I suppose would be the options.
Can I just get clarification there? You said permission to attend.
Yep.
As distinct from funding.
Well, it's, I know.
They're two different things.
Yes, okay. Permission to attend and spend money, or not spend money, which would mean you couldn't go because there's only one budget line for training.
What is the cost doing that?
Have a look at that if you've got
Yeah.
more details on the budget.
The budget available is $1,500. I'm planning to take the cost of accommodation and the conference from that budget, and some flights and try and take from another budget to make it work. I think the whole thing is around about it was around about $2,000. And so we're going to take some budget that we've got from the district for travel, and then use the other budget for the conference and also hotel costs.
Yeah. Tony and I take it you don't want access to that funding?
No, my point is, I think, we need to be more transparent in our meeting about the money we spend on staff training and what we spend on staff. Given like last meeting, we cut someone's lunch from 2,000 to 1,000. So, you know, from the external party, given scrutiny, I think we need to be more transparent in the money.
Tony, can I just check, do you mean members, what we're spending on member travel? You just use the word staff there.
Sorry, yeah, sorry,
Members, yeah.
sorry.
Can I just add, it's a really good point, as we had great, mural oversight, so, a couple of months ago, Wayne and I sat down with the mayor, and it was the first time he'd been exposed to the elected budget, so we take that, note, and, he's back, we can come back and as to the LDP, when we presented our budgets in November, make sure that everybody knows.
Okay, and the other thing is probably a little bit of detail around what, I'm happy to invest in staff, but what are our outcomes, what are we I just talked to Jaden, having a cup of tea before, I've got a bit of my understanding, but I think we should probably be more transparent around that, what we're hoping to achieve with it. Which I think he presented a pretty good case for it. You know, a lot of young guys, young people, new councillors, or, and it's a networking support and a learning process, so. But I think we should probably have that a bit more transparent too.
And I think probably will be an opportunity for Jaden and I to present back to the board on
Yeah.
the outcomes and.
Yeah. As against the purpose, the outcome
Yeah.
is against the purpose, yeah.
But no, I certainly agree with Saskia that it would be good to have some clarity going forward, because I think that in the past, the potentially has not always been utilised. So it'd be good to have an understanding of what's available and for what purpose.
We've got, budgets, there's, an election year, there's, money given for cheese training and stuff, and I think that's been looked at well. So we have unspent profit with all budgets. Be a conversation for all of that.
I'm happy to move.
Thank you, Martin.
I'll second.
Thank you, Roger. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried. Thank you very much. Do you mind just letting Jaden know when we can come? Okay. That's all right.
Yeah.
Item number 23.7.7 does say that His Worship the Mayor will give a verbal update, but I do not anticipate him turning up for a verbal update. Although it's been posted quite a lot on Facebook, so we can possibly just read out some of them.
It's difficult to get here from Vietnam.
It is. Good as Zoom. This can be. So we will move. Do we need to do anything with that? So given it's in there as an agenda item. And you just note there is no report from it. Marvellous, thank you. And then move to my chair's report. So there were just a couple of things that I wanted to cover off that have happened since we last met. One is that Peter Kelly has arrived, which is very exciting. It's lovely to have him here. I attended a Future of Local Government hui in Wellington last month, which brought together a number of councillors, some mayors, some chief executives from around the country to talk about where to next following the draft Future for Local Government proposal. It was really interesting. We had a look at the 17 main recommendations that had come from that and talked about where consensus might be reached and where consensus really would not be reached. And some of those were maybe more surprising than we had anticipated. Some not so much. There's some work being done by a group of the team here, as well as myself and Tim, about what will be important for Central Otago District Council to present at the next hui around things that would be, I guess, acceptable to us, or that we'd like to see some progress on or some work on. It seems to be quite clear at the moment that if we are wanting any changes to happen, that would need to be driven from the sector as opposed to central government. Although now that there will be a change in central government, we'll watch this space a little bit and see what happens from there and what that might look like. And I anticipate being able to present something to you guys at the next meeting, just about kind of how the conversations are going and whether there are any implications for us at this point in time. Attended a wonderful Blossom Festival. Martin did his anti-rain dance the night before and it was successful because it was not looking great in the week leading up. So I was very pleased to see the weather. It was a great turnout. It was just magic. Kids loved it. I loved it.
White hat.
No. it was, just a wonderful day, and probably the thing that surprised me was the amount of people that continue to travel from outside of our district to attend. I mean, it's a big local thing, but there are people who've been coming for years and years from quite some distance away. There was a really great article on Stuff, and also on, I think, the Dominion Post, from one of their features writers that travelled around both our district and Queenstown Lakes, and her and her daughter were doing some volunteering around the district, and I managed to tee them up with Living Options, and they went and spent a couple of hours there in the afternoon playing some music, doing some baking, and it was just a really heartwarming recommendation of things that happen in our communities, so that was great to see. I also attended the hospice dinner a couple of weeks ago, which was held out at the packing shed, and it was phenomenal for them to raise $41,000 for hospice services in our area, which was, I think, the last 3 years they've raised a combined total of 55,000 over 3 years. So to be bringing in 41,000 from one evening is absolutely outstanding for the great work that they do. And then, as an aside from that, the community well and truly got behind this cyber safety evening that Dunstan High School and some of the other PTAs raised, where they brought Rob Cope into town, and he spoke at the Bolton Club to nearly 200 parents about cyber safety. And there's also an opportunity, the school, Dunstan High School, are going to be running a recording of his presentation for parents that missed out, because there was a lot of enthusiasm for that as well. So it's quite neat to see the communities getting in behind some of those other opportunities. That's all from me. So I'm happy to move that my verbal report be received. Jaden, thank you for seconding that. All those in favour? Against? Carried. And we move to the members' reports, please. And we'll start with you, Roger.
Right, I chaired 2 meetings of the Creative Writers Circle. Excuse me. I assisted in a demonstration concert for the Saturday morning music classes. These have been running in our district and also in Dunedin for very many years, and so I was very pleased to be able to give my help with that. Attended a meeting of the Central Otago District Arts Trust. Attended the AGM of the Alexandra District Museums Incorporated, which is the Central Stories governing body. I gave a talk at Alexandra U3A, gave a music performance at Central Stories, and also gave a music performance yesterday afternoon at the Golden View Rest Home. Different sort of audience there. Attended an ADMI board meeting, attended the opening of the Blossom Festival, the Arts Society exhibition, and as Tamer has said, the Blossom Festival was just phenomenal given the weather the day before. Attended the AGM of the Haiata Trust. Attended a meeting of the Keep Alexandra Clyde Beautiful. Attended a business breakfast where the speaker was Dr. Greg Bodecker. Attended a meeting of the Dunstan Friendship Club. Attended a Neurological Foundation meeting via Zoom. Attended the AGM of Lean Rock Village, and noted with sadness the outbreak of the war in the Middle East. There's a certain personal side to that. Exactly 50 years ago, before the outbreak occurred, I was in London wanted to fly out from Heathrow Airport to Damascus, and suddenly there was just chaos at Heathrow, and eventually slept over at the airport that night. Flew out on the Pan Am jumbo the next day to Beirut, and then flew back out over the Mediterranean instead of heading east, which is where we were going, and see the gun flashes from the aircraft. So it was a bit scary 50 years on for this similar scenario with different performers. Anyway, thank you. That's my report.
Thank you, Roger. Right.
Yeah, just working with the Village Cottage Committee since the last meeting. Attended the business group BA5 meeting up at the golf course, and still very happy to receive so many visitors that are coming into our community with cycling and playing golf. It's just amazing how many people are still coming in, and it's going to continue looking at my wall planner right through till about May. So it's really good. Yeah.
Thank you. Martin?
Thank you, for your kind comments on Blossom Festival. I'd like to just acknowledge the support the staff in this building give me personally in the weeks leading up to that. It's a very informal relationship, but I tend to say jump and the staff ask how high, which is great. And it makes my job so much easier. Like I just referenced Gordon over there in the corner. I was very concerned about state of the park with JCBs and things going across it. And Gordon very succinctly advised me that we weren't having a game of first class cricket there on the Monday, so he told me to relax. So I did. And we didn't. We managed the situation really well. We didn't actually leave the park in a particularly bad state. And the pleasing thing back is on the Tuesday, we went in there and you wouldn't even know whether the place was clean and tidy. So I take a sense of pride in that. But with my council hat on, we have been doing Plan Change 19. The decision-making process is saying we spent 2 days locked up in this building over the weekend, not last weekend, the weekend before. And we're making some serious progress on that. And we still have, we're coming back for another 2-day session shortly. And hopefully, the decision when it's written up will allow for that plan change to progress. It's been quite a challenge and an incredible experience to be involved with. The amount of hours staff have spent working on that and the amount of hours we as commissioners have spent trying to digest some of the information. But I think the end result will work quite well. And having missed 2 community board meetings, one due to COVID, one due to, of course, Blossom Festival, it's nice to be back. Thank you.
Good. Thank you, Matt. Dane?
For the Leaning Rock AGM, which is probably time to decide whether we're going forward or going home. So that's going to happen probably in the next couple of months. In the Promote Dunstan AGM, we had a presentation from the Burgundy Exchange student from last year, who I think the council support that Burgundy Exchange program too. Very animated about what that's about and the relationship between the French village where it started. And they are probably more excited about it, which is interesting from a country that's got 200 years of history in it compared to us. So it's a pretty valuable thing for our industry. And obviously part of the festival, feedback from a couple of 3 of the new stall holders who were there is they can't wait for next year. So yeah, so obviously the stall holders had a pretty good experience.
In that? Dane?
Hello. Well, I attended the High Hiata Trust AGM along with Roger, which was a really great opportunity, and also I'd like to acknowledge the work that staff have done with the trust when it comes to the Half Mile Reserve. I'd like to thank Martin and Tony and the rest of the team for an amazing Blossom Festival weekend. It was great and a lot of great feedback on that. Though those spinning cups look really nice, you can be left very dizzy and sick feeling afterwards. I was unable to attend the last meeting of the St Bathans Association, but they're holding their feet on the 14th of January over in St Bathans, if anybody can make it to that. Attended a planting day for the community gardens on Saturday. Attended the Valence Cottage Open Day the day after the Blossom Festival. They're having another one, I believe, this weekend. So if you haven't had a chance, definitely go and have a look at that. And finally, I just wanted to acknowledge Bruno Tatakasini for his years of service to Māori in the community for the last decade plus. Not just here, but covering the ridiculously massive Te Tai Tonga electorate. So I just want to wish him all the best for the future and also just acknowledge all the work he's done for Māori. And that is me.
Jaden? I'm happy to move that those reports be received. Jaden, you happy to second those? Thank you. All those in favour? Against? Carried. Now move to the governance report that starts on page 171. Anyone got any comments on any of those? I just heard one, which was around that Alexandra Cemetery street boundary treatment. That is hopefully going to be completed by the end of the calendar year. Are we on track for that? Do we
That
know?
was a very good question. I think we are on track for that. Getting some odds, yes, we are. Yeah,
Perfect.
go.
Thank you very much. No other questions on any of those reports? Well, I'm happy to move that they be received. And Jaden, thank you for seconding that. All those in favour?
Okay.
Against? Carried. The date of the next meeting will be Tuesday, the 21st of November. And then we move to the resolution to exclude the public. There will be reasons listed on page.
Move that.
Thank you, Jaden. All those in favour? Against? Carried. And then we just have the confirmation of the confidential minutes. The last meeting.
Just not wait for people to leave.
Oh, thank you. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.